Okay, so students, once again, very good afternoon. As I told that some very important part will be discussed today in the third chapter. So what are those important parts? But before going to that important part, we need to have a quick revision of what we have learned in the previous class. So in the previous class, dear students, we have learned that Deepika and Junita, good afternoon. So in the previous class, what we have learned is about the atomic radius. Atomic radius. So if I draw the periodic table, we have seen that the atomic radius decreases along the period and atomic radius increases down the group. The increase in the increase in the atomic radius down the group is because of extra shell every time it is going to be added, and decrease in the size when you go down the group is because nuclear charge increases. These things we have seen in the last class, and after that we have seen what you mean by ionic radius. Ionic radius is the radius of at the ion from its center to electron which it has the influence. If does not have an influence, means it is not the ion which I have to consider or the electron I have to consider. So there again we have discussed that usually cations will be smaller compared to its parent atom. This Pa what I'm written is a parent atom. What is parent atom? For example, if Na is a parent atom, Na plus will be its cation and cation will be smaller. Sorry, cation will be smaller. Okay. Do you remember that only, dear students? I told you that cation, you can understand that it is cut. Okay. So when I cut this one, you will be left with a smaller piece. So if you cut more and more pieces, dear students, you can understand it becomes more smaller and smaller. That is the reason aluminum will be larger compared to Al plus. It is larger compared to Al2 plus. It is larger compared to Al3 plus. Then anions will be formed. Okay, anions will be formed by gaining of electron. So after gaining electrons, the nucleus is not so powerful to attract all the electrons, so size increases compared to its parent atom. For example, if you take F and F minus, it is anion. To remember, I told you add ion. Okay, add ion. Anions are formed by adding of ions. So dear students, if you add ions, definitely the size would be more because you are adding. So if this is the parent atom, now dear students, if I add something to this, the size increases. Okay, yes Prithvi, F minus will be larger. So again, if you compare oxygen with O minus and O2 minus, more charge will be more in size, more addition, so more larger. So that is the hint also I given. Cation, read it as cation. Anion, read it as addion. It will help you to remember that anions should be added means size with more. Adding means size is more. Cations is found by cutting. So cut after cutting, the size decreases. These things we have discussed. Last one more part that is related to the ionic radius also we have discussed, and that is isoelectronic species or isoelectronic ions. Both are same. Okay, isoelectronic species or isoelectronic ions. So when you consider isoelectronic, iso means same number. For example, when N3 minus, where 7 is the atomic number of nitrogen and 3 anions are added, electrons are added, so that's why it is minus charge, it becomes 10 electron. Then O2 minus, which is having 8 atomic number, 2 electrons are added, again 10 electrons. So now I can consider these two are isoelectronic. So in isoelectronic, when you want to compare like N3 minus and O2 minus and F minus and neon and Na plus and Mg2 plus and Al3 plus. Okay, actually, you know the arrangement in the periodic table. See, I will show you the arrangement in the periodic table. See here, you know, arrangement of periodic table. Nitrogen's position is this one. This is the position of oxygen. This is the position of fluorine. This is the position of neon. Then, dear students, you know, the next will be from here. Okay, the next will be from here. This is the position of sodium. This is the position of magnesium. This is the position of aluminium. Got it? And when you, yes, Mahima, same electron with the different number of, same it's a different atom with the same number of electrons. Okay, now if I want to make it isoelectronic, it should be 3 minus, 2 minus, F minus, no electrons. Remove 1 electron, remove 2 electron, remove 3 electron. Got it? Now if you want to compare, remember, more addition is going to make larger one. Got it? then more cutting would make smaller one. So this is the order of the isoelectronic species. Okay, comparison is very important, especially for the competitive, even for the boards. Okay, if I ask you to compare, you should be able to compare. Okay, then you know what is the next part now? After understanding atomic radius and ionic radius and isoelectronic species, dear students, the next very important, Ananya, very good question. So you're asking that with the okay, you're telling, okay, fine. That is also okay. Mahima, same. Yes, Ananya, you're right. Okay, I thought you were asking. So it's the definition you're given. It's correct. Okay. So dear students, let me just a minute. Okay, I'll admit everyone. Okay, now the next periodic property after understanding atomic radius, I will write at the end. Okay, so that we should understand what are the things we have discussed. Okay, first thing we have discussed is atomic radius, then ionic radius. This is the first one. Okay, now the second one that I'm going to discuss, second very important, periodic properties. If I ask you what are periodic properties, give example for periodic properties, you can give atomic radius. Then second one is ionization enthalpy. Okay, ionization enthalpy. So first of all, dear students, we should understand what is ionization enthalpy, then we have to see the example. Okay, so ionization enthalpy, in a easiest way to understand, remember this ionization enthalpy. Yes, Shilpa, somewhat that, but yes, Prithvi, that would be the more better definition. See, I will tell you, if an atom is there now, for example, if a sodium is there now, okay, which is having 1s2 configuration and 2s2 2p6 configuration and 3s1 configuration. Got it? Now we can see that this one of these electrons are not so tightly held for the, just a minute, sodium, right? The sodium's electron, the last electron is not so tightly held. Then if I supply some amount of energy to this one, okay, if I supply some energy, this electron may go out of the atom. Okay, this electron may go out of the atom. The sodium, which was just a normal elemental sodium, would become Na plus. Okay, from an atom you are forming an ion. Okay, you are forming an ion by the removal of an electron, and this is what you call as a ionization enthalpy. Okay, remember, dear students, formation of ions. Got it? Formation of which ion? Especially the cation. Got it? So the energy required, now we'll understand the energy required to remove, okay, the energy required to remove the electron is called as ionization enthalpy. You might ask, what is this enthalpy? Don't write this definition that I told now. Okay, if you're writing, don't write. The reason is there is a definition difference. Okay, I'll tell you, but let's understand what is enthalpy. Enthalpy is nothing but an energy term. Got it? Energy. So therefore, in a simple word, ionization enthalpy is the minimum amount of energy required to remove. Okay. Yes, Karthik, right? It is the minimum amount of energy required to remove an outermost electron from an isolated gaseous system. Let me just tell you, dear students, whenever we ask this definition, sometime students used to write only half definition. Let me completely write this definition, then we'll come to know. Okay, then we'll see what is this definition is. Okay, the ionization, I will write it, hope you are also writing. The ionization enthalpy, the ionization enthalpy is the, just a minute, I'll change the pen. Ionization enthalpy is the amount of energy, it is the amount of energy required to remove outermost electron. Okay, it is the energy required to remove the outermost electron from an isolated, this is very important, isolated gaseous atoms. Okay, isolated gaseous atom in its ground state. Okay, see dear students, while giving this definition, you usually understand up to this. Okay, it is the ionization energy or enthalpy is the amount of energy required to remove an outermost electron. You understand, and sometimes you write only this much. Understand, from an isolated gaseous atom is very important, because if I want to, okay, if I want to remove an electron from the sodium, and if I want to remove an electron from the gaseous sodium or gaseous sodium, the energy required would be little different. Okay, it is this little different. So that is the reason whenever you are defining this one, it would be better to mention that it is from the isolated gaseous. First, sodium should be converted into a gas. Sodium metal is converted into a gas. Then that gas you have to take separately and you have to remove electron. And that is what you call as isolated, separated. Isolated means separated gaseous atom. Got it, my dear students? This is what you call as a ionization enthalpy. This word is very important. Okay. If you miss this, it means your definition is wrong. If you remove electron from any of the thing, it is not ionization enthalpy. You convert into a gas, then remove the electron, then it is what called as a ionization enthalpy. Let us see the example then. For example, the same sodium, if it is converted into Na plus with electron, okay, with one electron. Usually the symbol used for ionization enthalpy is IE. Okay. So dear students, IE for this one is given as plus 495 kilojoule per mole. Value is not needed, but I just given you this. I've given this value just for one thing. Okay, one small thing I given this. Just a minute. Okay, see, the value is not required. Okay, still I given this one just to convey one thing, that it is usually measured in terms of the kilojoule per mole. Okay, it is measured in kilojoule per mole, and the value is not important, but the sign is very important. The sign indicates, okay, the positive sign indicates that energy is required. Okay, it is required. You need to supply this much of energy. Got it? You need to supply this energy, then only it will be removed. This sign plays an important role in the chemistry. Okay, so we'll come to know today only. We'll come to know the importance of sign. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. The first point, that is definition and example. Let's go to the next point now. Okay, this is the first point, definition and example. Second point is to understand. The second point is successive ionization enthalpy. What do you mean by successive ionization enthalpy? Okay, successive ionization enthalpy is also ionization enthalpy, means it is also energy required to remove the electron by more than one electron. Okay, it is just energy required to remove more than one electron. For example, if I write IE2, you know what is this means? It is the energy required. Okay, it is the energy required to remove second electron. Okay, second electron. Then what would be IE3? What would be IE3? It is the energy required to remove the third electron. Okay, that's a simple thing. For example, if there is aluminum now, if I supply energy, it would become, okay, after losing, see this negative, what I have written here is minus electron. What it indicates? Electron is removed. It becomes aluminum plus. And this is, see, I'll write in a proper way. I'll write here Al. This is IE1, means one electron is removed. Okay, one electron is removed. Now I will remove one more electron from this one, then it is called as IE2. Then it would become Al2 plus. Now I will remove one more electron. Okay, one more electron, it becomes IE3. This is IE2, that is IE3. It becomes Al3 plus. Got it, my dear students? Got it? What I'm just doing, just a minute. I hope you are understanding what I'm doing now. Dear students, just a minute. Okay, I'll try to fill the ink. Just a minute. Okay. So students, I don't know whether the ink is available or not, but let me just try to continue now. See, this is what you call as a successive ionization enthalpy. Energy required to remove the more than one electron. This, I hope the board is visible to you, and I hope you are able to see. Dear students, is that clear now? Is that clear? To form aluminium to aluminium 3 plus, you need to remove 1, 2, 3 electrons. Okay. Now, what the thing that we need to compare here is ionization enthalpy of third one and IE2 and IE1. So can you tell me which is more now? Whether the written thing is decreasing order or increasing order? What do you feel? Which is more? Yes, yes, Francis, right? IE3 should be definitely more and compared to this. The reason is very simple, okay? It is, if you are applying, okay, if you are applying some energy to remove one electron, you would apply more than that energy to remove the second electron. Got it? It would be, you would be requiring more energy. There is a reason also. If I want to explain, see here, if imagine if there is 5 protons, okay, if imagine there are 5 protons and there are 5 electrons, okay, let me tell you why ionization, successive ionization enthalpy is more. I will tell you. Imagine you removed one electron now, okay, imagine you removed one electron, okay, you removed one electron. Now there are only 4 electrons left, okay, there are only 4 electrons left, but the number of protons are 5. So proton is more powerful, so it would attract the remaining electron with more power, and also size decreases because cations will be smaller. Now electrons are close as well as protons are more powerful. I hope you are understanding. After removal of one electron, this atom becomes smaller, electrons are closer now, and second thing is proton is more powerful. Now if you want to remove one more electron, you would need more energy, definitely higher energy. If in first case it was 500 kilojoule, now definitely you would require around 1000 kilojoule. Got it, my dear students? Is that clear? Dear students, are you understanding? Now after removal of the second electron, only 3 electrons left with 5 proton. Proton is so powerful, and also it is so small now that if you want to remove the third electron, you would need huge amount of energy. Got it? So that is the reason successive ionization enthalpy usually greater compared to the previous ionization enthalpy. Got it? Lot of questions will be asked on this part in the competitive part. Now let us only understand related to the boards first, okay? What is ionization enthalpy? Ionization enthalpy is the amount of energy required to remove the outermost electron from an isolated gaseous atom. Example, you have seen sodium, you require around 495 plus. Plus means energy required. And second thing is successive ionization enthalpy, which is usually greater. Okay. Now what we're going to see is, dear students, just a minute. What we're going to see after this is the, just a minute, okay, variation, okay, variation of the ionization enthalpy, how it is going to vary now. So before understanding variation, you should understand that ionization enthalpy is directly proportional to nuclear charge and inversely proportional. See, in a simple way I'm trying to give this one, okay, nuclear charge, and it is inversely proportional to the atomic radius, even though it is given in the form of a like a formula, but actually I'll explain this. What do you mean by ionization enthalpy? Or imagine now, imagine if two atoms are of the same size, okay, if two atoms are there of the same size, means same distance the electrons are there, and this is A atom, this is B atom, but the A atom's nucleus is so powerful, whereas this one is less powerful, means this is having more nuclear charge, okay, its nuclear charge is greater compared to the nuclear charge of the B. Now dear students, can you tell me, now dear students, can you tell me in which case you require more energy to remove the electron? In which case, A and B? Definitely A, right? Definitely A. So it is like okay, yes, those are answering very good, okay, those are answering very good, because if the power of the nucleus is more, it would attract more efficiently compared to the B. It is just like if this pen now I'm holding now, okay, imagine if the pen, I hope you can see now, just a minute, okay, yeah, now you can see. Imagine the pen I'm holding now with such a distance now, okay, if I hold like this, someone would definitely steal this easily. Got it? Now in the same distance, with the same distance, I will hold the pen with more power now. Got it? Now if someone tries to remove the pen from my hand, he would require very high amount of energy. Got it? So if the nuclear charge is more, it would require more energy to remove. If the nuclear charge, because this is attracting more, okay, got it? That's why I written it is directly proportional to nuclear charge. Higher the nuclear charge, higher will be the attraction and difficult to take away the electron, or higher will be the ionization enthalpy. Now let us understand the second condition, how it is dependent on the atomic radius. See, dear students, imagine the two nucleus having the same nuclear charge. Okay, its nuclear power is same, but one atom is like this. Okay, one atom is like this. Sorry, one electron is like this, very close, and one more electron is like this, very far away. Now again it is A and B now. So now again, dear students, in which case it would be little difficult to take away the electron? In which case it is little difficult? Again it is A, right? Yes, Anani, yes, Aditi, right? It is difficult to take away the electron from A. So again the same scenario, try to understand. This is the pen now. Okay, this is the pen now. Now I'm holding very tightly to me. Okay, it is very tightly held now. Now if someone tries to steal this one, it is very difficult because I'm holding very tightly too close to me. Got it? If I hold it very close, it would be very easy to take away. If I hold it like this, okay, if I hold it like this, even though it is tight, but if it is away, someone would definitely steal away very easily. Okay, so that's the reason, if the size increases, it is bit more easier to take away the electron, easy to take away the electron. Therefore, atomic radius, it is inversely proportional, okay, to the ionization enthalpy. Got it? Just a minute. So let's write now. Okay, let's write these things in a point wise as higher the nuclear charge. Okay, higher the nuclear charge, higher will be the attraction. Okay, higher will be the attraction and higher will be the ionization enthalpy. Okay, higher will be the energy required to take away, or higher will be the ionization enthalpy. Then larger the size of atom, larger the size of atom, easy, okay, easy to take away the electron. Therefore, lesser will be the ionization enthalpy. Lesser will be the ionization enthalpy. If you want, I can read out once again. Higher the nuclear charge. Okay, you can understand. Higher the, you can underline, higher the nuclear charge, higher will be the ionization enthalpy. Larger or higher the size, lesser will be the ionization enthalpy. Got it, my dear students? So in that case, now we can compare the variation along the period and down the group. Okay, see here. We'll just remove this one. I hope you understood. I'll remove this one. Then we will understand by drawing a periodic table now. Okay, drawing a periodic table, we will understand what would happen when you go down the group. Just now we understood atomic radius. If you understand, atomic radius usually decreases along the period and increases down the group. Got it? Now if ionization enthalpy, first point is ionization enthalpy, or first all right, down the group. Okay, down the group. So dear students, can you tell me what would happen to the ionization enthalpy? Yes, Prithvi, if atomic radius increases down the group, therefore ionization enthalpy, Ritika, are you sure? Down the group, atomic radius is increasing, means atoms are going, electrons are going away and away. It is easy to take away. Therefore, down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases. Okay, because, write the reason, atomic radius increases. Got it? Because atomic radius increases and nuclear charge remains same. Usually effective nuclear charge, it would be better you add it as effective nuclear charge remains same. I hope you are writing effective nuclear charge remains same. Got it, my dear students? Then second point, down the group is over now. Now let us compare along the period. Okay, along the period, dear students, see this one. Along the period, atomic size decreases, means electrons are getting closer and closer. Yes, Prithvi, right? Electrons are getting closer and closer. It is difficult to take away. Therefore, along the period, ionization enthalpy increases. So reason is same reason, atomic radius decreases and effective nuclear charge increases. Effective nuclear charge increases. Yes, Kushi, Sanjana, right? I hope you have understood now. Got it? So this is the thing related to the ionization enthalpy. Okay, till now everything is fine. Okay, see here, I'll just remove this and then I'll write in a periodic table, just a reference. Okay, so we have understood now the two properties and how it varies. So atomic radius decreases, atomic radius increases. Ionization enthalpy just opposite of that. If this decreases, this increases. If this increases, ionization enthalpy decreases. Got it? Okay, now I hope this is clear to you. Okay, now we'll go to the next part in this one. Okay, so let us compare the ionization enthalpy along the period now. Okay, let's have lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, I'm comparing along the period, dear students. Okay, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. Okay, just now we told you that. Okay, I will write this once again. Okay, see this. See this, dear students. See this. Okay, this is atomic radius, which usually decreases, and ionization enthalpy, which usually increases. And atomic radius increases down the group and ionization enthalpy decreases down the group. Got it? So in that case, let us compare. So I'm comparing along the period. Along the period, it should increase. Okay, let me write the values. Okay, actually values are not required, and also it is in the kilojoule per mole. Okay, 520. This boron is given as 801. You can see it is increasing. And carbon, let me just write the value. Okay, let me compare. Okay, it's given as 1086. Just a minute, dear students. 1086. Okay, we'll compare. Okay, Ruchita, we'll compare. See, I'll write here once again. It is 1086. For oxygen, it is given as around 1300. Yes, 1314. And fluorine, it is given as 1681 and 2081. You can see, dear students, along the period, it is increasing. Okay, it is increasing. We'll write few points afterwards. Okay, I left two places empty here for the beryllium and nitrogen. So you might wonder now that why it is left empty. The reason is very simple. It is some irregularities observed in case of this one now. Okay, very important part is to understand, when you go along the period now, it should slowly increase from 520 to around some 700, then 800, 1000, then it should be 1200, 1300. But when you exactly observe the ionization enthalpy, what you see here is beryllium is having a 899. Okay, you can see the comparison. This is more. And nitrogen is having around 1402. Again, it is more. So why this irregularity is observed? Dear students, I hope you are understanding what I'm telling. Okay, I hope you are understanding. You know, whenever usual comparison is done by atomic radius and nuclear charge, that we have done, and how it is varies we have seen. The third one is the irregularity that is observed. So dear students, remember this. Whenever, yes Francis, very good, whenever the irregularity is observed, it is because of the third point. Okay, the first point is atomic radius, nuclear charge, on which we have explained this part. Now the irregularity, whenever you want to explain, the irregularity should be explained based on the electronic configuration. Okay, let me write the electronic configuration of beryllium. It is having 2s2. Let me write the electronic configuration of nitrogen. It is 2s2, 2p3. Can anyone tell me now why the variation is observed? Francis has already answered. By the configuration, can anyone answer why it is little more than expected value? Can anyone tell me? Yes, Prithvi, why it is more stable? Why it is more stable? Your answer is correct. Yes, Ruchita, yes, that's the reason. Okay, so remember this, dear students. Whenever, yes, Prithvi, install, because of, so irregularity, write this. Okay, very important. You can mention this as a note also, important one. Irregularity means beryllium is having more value compared to boron, and nitrogen is having more value compared to oxygen. Compared to the next one, the previous one is only having more value. The reason for the nitrogen is half-filled configuration. Okay, half-filled configuration is more stable. Okay, you write in a sentence form. I written here because some diagrams are there. Half filled configuration is more stable compared to normal configuration. Okay, I hope now it is clear to you that why the nitrogen is having more value, because of half filled configuration. And you have learnt in the atomic structure that whenever a configuration is half filled, it is becoming more stable. And if something is very stable, it would be very difficult to take away the electron from that. Got it? It would be very difficult to take away the electron because it is very stable. Okay. Now, similarly, why the beryllium is having more is because of completely filled S2 configuration. Okay. Completely filled S2 configuration is also more stable. I hope you're going to complete it. Okay. Is also more stable. Got it? Now the variation is because of half filled and completely filled S2 configuration. Dear students, is that clear now? So whenever it is asked you to compare, so comparison is like lithium is lesser compared to boron, then it is beryllium, or carbon, then it is oxygen, then it is nitrogen, then it is fluorine, then it is neon. Is that clear, my dear students? This is the order of the comparison. Dear students, is that clear now? Is that clear? Let me go to the next one now. Okay. What is next one now? First point is the irregularities explained. You know what is the next one? That is second note. Second note is noble gases. Okay. Noble gases have very high ionization enthalpy values. Noble gases have very high ionization enthalpy values. Can anyone tell me, dear students, that why the noble gases have very high ionization enthalpy value? Why the? Because yes, Shilpa, it is stable because of what configuration? It is because of the completely filled configuration of, yes, completely filled of 2s2 2p6. Okay, this configuration. Got it? Yes, octet. Yes, it's because of the completely filled octet configuration of, you write it. Okay, because of completely filled 2s to 2p6 or octet configuration, it becomes highly stable. And I told you, whenever it is becoming stable, it would be very difficult to take away the electron. So dear students, is that clear now? This is the thing that is there related to the ionization enthalpy. If this is clear, I can go for the next concept. So what the thing they have to learn, let me have a quick revision of what we learned now. Okay. We have learned ionization enthalpy. What is ionization enthalpy? Ionization enthalpy is the amount of energy required to remove the outermost electron from an isolated gaseous atom. One thing. Second thing is the value we have seen that for sodium around 498 plus value. Plus indicates that energy is required. Second thing we have seen is the successive ionization enthalpy. It is very difficult to take away the electron, more than one electron, because atoms are becoming smaller and nucleus is becoming more powerful. So therefore, successive ionization enthalpy value will be usually greater. That's the second point. Third thing is we have compared along the period and down the group. Along the period, ionization enthalpy increases because atoms are held tightly because of its smaller size. Okay, it is becoming smaller and smaller, and also nuclear charge is more. Okay, ionization enthalpy increases along the period, and down the group size is becoming larger and larger. So it is easy to take away. Ionization enthalpy decreases. Then while going along the period or down the group, we see some irregularities. In some cases, we see some irregularities, especially in case of beryllium and nitrogen. It is because of its completely filled S2 configuration and half filled configuration. And we see very high value for the noble gases is because of the completely filled configuration. So this is the thing that we have discussed today now. Is that clear now? If it is clear, I can go for the next concept, next periodic property. Is that clear, dear students? Yes. Then we'll go for the next periodic property now. Okay. Ionization enthalpy is over. Okay, Rakshit. Yes. Then we'll move to the next concept. Just a minute, dear students. Okay. If there is an ink, then I'll fill it. So students, just wait for 10 seconds. Okay. Have a small break. Have a small KitKat break. If any doubt is there, you can ask. Dear students, if there is any doubt, you can ask. This chapter is there for the upcoming test. Okay, very easy chapter, very easy concepts, but the concepts are very important. It is, you're gonna see these concepts even in the second year. Now also we are dealing with the ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, all these things. Now also. Okay. So the second one we just discussed is ionization enthalpy. Okay. Ionization enthalpy. Now the third periodic property that we're going to discuss is about electron gain enthalpy. You know how we're going to learn this electron gain enthalpy? Same way that we have learned for the ionization enthalpy. First we're going to see the definition, then we're going to see some example, and successive ionization enthalpy, sorry, electron gain enthalpy we see. Then we will compare along the period and down the group. Then if there is any irregularity, we will discuss that. Okay. Okay, Karthik, you're telling that it's energy required to gain electron, but let's understand. So in a simple way, we'll see. Okay. Yes, Prithvi. Okay. See, if this is an atom now, okay, if this is an atom now, it's a nucleus. Let me try to remove one electron from this. Okay. Dear students, see this, concentrate. Let me try to take away one electron from this. Okay. If I want to take away this electron, if I want to remove this electron, okay, so I'm actually not talking about electron gain enthalpy, I'm talking about ionization enthalpy only. Okay. So if I want to take away this electron now, I need to supply energy. Right? I need to supply energy. Dear students, is that clear now? You supply energy, electrons are removed. See here, you supply energy, electrons are removed. Now you give the electron, energy will be released. See, I'll repeat once again. You supply energy, electrons will be removed. You supply energy, electrons will be removed. You give the electron, energy will be removed. Okay, just a vice versa. Got it, my dear students? In that case, what is electron gain enthalpy? Because the word only tells you electron gain. Okay, an atom has to gain an electron now. Okay, an atom has to gain an electron. Just like the ionization enthalpy, when energy is given, electron is removed. Here, electron will be given, energy will be removed. Okay, so that is what you call as electron gain enthalpy. Now, the definition would be, it is the amount of energy released. Okay, it is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to what type of atom? Isolated gaseous atom. Got it? It is the amount of energy released. But this definition that I just given is not a proper or not exact definition, because in some cases energy might not release. Okay, energy might not release. Therefore, a proper definition would give you in this way: it is a change in the energy when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. But usually or majority of the time it is released. Okay, in few cases it might not be released. Dear students, is that clear? So these two definitions are also okay. What is that definition? It is the amount of energy released, okay, when an electron is added. That is also okay. Or it is the change in the energy when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. That is also electron gain enthalpy only. Both are same, both are okay. But second definition would be much more better. Okay. So I'll write definition. So the third thing that we are discussing is EGE. Understand that whenever in upcoming classes I mention IE, it is ionization enthalpy. Whenever I mention EGE, it is electron gain enthalpy. Okay. So it is the amount of energy released. Okay. Amount of energy released. Okay. Released when an isolated gaseous or gaseous atom, sorry, released when an electron is added to, okay, sorry, when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous or gaseous atom. Got it? So, dear students, you can write in terms of or also. Okay, or. So what is this or now? Or you can write it as it is the It is the change in energy when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. Both definitions are okay. Got it, my dear students? Is that clear, my dear students? You can write in two ways. Okay, amount of energy released when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom, but a more proper definition would be it is the change in the energy when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. In both ways you can understand. Got it? So let us see some example. Then let us see some example. And in example there is one very important thing. Okay, one very important thing you should understand, that Cl, you make it a Cl minus, okay, Cl minus by giving one electron, okay. It has taken one electron to become Cl minus. Now delta H, okay, delta H or change in enthalpy, or I'll write electron gain enthalpy, EGE, is actually when you measure, it is coming out to be 300 and I think the value is 349 kilojoule per mole, okay, 349 kilojoule per mole. Got it? Dear students, is that clear? But with a negative sign. So very important. I'll just write here only. Here, okay, right here, negative, okay, negative sign indicates. So dear students, I want to tell you one, I want to ask you one thing. What is this? Energy is minus. What do you mean by this? Whether it is a negative energy? Is there anything such as a negative energy? Or what is this now? Minus 349. Yes, not, it's not gaining, Prithvi, it is released. So understand that whenever in chemistry, dear students, whenever in chemistry I use negative sign, it indicates that it is not a negative energy. It, that minus indicates that energy is released, okay, released. So whenever you are comparing in chemistry energy term, if I ask you minus 100 and minus 200, which is bigger now? Can anyone tell me between minus 100 minus 200 which is bigger? I'm asking in terms of the energy. Yes, Shilpa, even though we have been learning that in mathematics that this is greater, but understand while comparing the energy term you don't consider minus, okay, minus, without minus you compare, then you see that 200 is greater. And also it tells you that 200 kilojoule of energy is released, 100 kilojoule of energy is released. It means it is releasing more energy. Got it? Don't get confused with that minus sign. It is just telling you that energy is released. Got it? Yes, Rajesh, Prithvi, right? Got it? This is a very important. Energy is released, right? Let's move to the next one now. What is the next one now? Next one is uh, how the ionization enthalpy was dependent on atomic radius. Ionization enthalpy was directly proportional to nuclear charge and inversely proportional to atomic radius. Same way, electron gain enthalpy also directly proportional to nuclear charge and inversely proportional to atomic radius. So how dear students, how the electron gain enthalpy is dependent on the size? See, I'll show you. For example, imagine if this is the nucleus and this is an atom now. If this is the nucleus, which is very powerful, and this is the same sized atom now, okay, this is size, this is atom A, this is atom B. Now what I'm going to do now is I'll try to add the electron to this, I will try to add the electron to this. Definitely both will release energy, but do you know, since this attraction is extremely high because of very powerful nucleus, it would release more amount of energy. Got it? It would release more amount of energy, whereas this attraction is less, it would release less. Got it? Then how it is dependent? It is dependent on the nuclear charge. Higher the nuclear charge, higher energy is released. Dear students, is that clear? Then we will compare with the same A and B now. Okay, if this is the nucleus with same power, okay, nucleus of A and B are of same power, nuclear charge I'm keeping constant, but this is smaller in size, this is larger in size. I'll add an electron here, I will add an electron here. Again, in which case the attraction is more? If opposite charge are closer, attraction is more, so more energy is released. Opposites are away from each other, so less energy is released. So smaller size, higher energy, higher size, smaller energy, inversely proportional. Got it? Yes, Aditi, right? It is A is releasing more energy. Therefore, with this we can directly conclude now that electron gain enthalpy. Dear students, I hope you can see, right? Okay, okay, see. Same way, electron gain enthalpy, which is directly proportional to nuclear charge, ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. Therefore, we can conclude electron gain enthalpy, first point, electron gain enthalpy, or we'll compare down the group, okay? Down the group, size increases. Dear students, yeah, they are directly proportional, but they are not related to one another. Don't worry, okay? We need to understand this. So down the group, we'll compare now. What would happen now? Down the group, atoms are becoming bigger and bigger. You are adding electron away. Attraction is less, energy is less. Size increases. So therefore, electron gain enthalpy decreases. Okay, down the group, electron gain enthalpy decreases because atomic size increases and nuclear charge remains same. Got it? Nuclear charge remains same. Now let's compare along the period now. Okay, along the period, electron gain enthalpy increases because atomic size decreases and nuclear charge increases. So dear students, is that clear now? Have you understood that variation? I'm explaining little quickly. The reason is it is just same as ionization enthalpy. Okay, just same. It means if I draw again, see here dear students, if I draw again like this, the periodic table, atomic size decreases. Therefore, ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy both increases. Got it? Down the group, atomic size increases, whereas these two, electron gain enthalpy and ionization enthalpy, decreases. Is that clear, my dear students? Is that clear now? So this is related to electron gain enthalpy. Now let us understand a last point. Okay, just 5 or 10 minutes I'll take, then I'll finish it. What we need to compare here is, let's compare down the group now. Okay, let me take the halogen family. What is that? Fluorine, chlorine. So let's compare the values of electron gain enthalpy for fluorine. See, I will write here, students. I hope you are understanding this. Let me write the values, okay, for comparison. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Just now we got to know that the chlorine is having minus 349 kilojoule per mole. Okay, again I won't repeat kilojoule per mole. It is understood that it is kilojoule per mole. Then this is having around minus 325. Okay, minus 325. This is having around minus 295. What you can see, dear students, down the group, electron gain enthalpy is becoming less negative, means less energy is released. So dear students, is that clear? Can you guess what should be for the fluorine, or can you tell me whether it should be more or less now? Don't compare negative. Tell me like simply values. It should be more, right? It should be more. But do you know, when I measure, it comes out to be 328. It is lesser. Okay, so very, very important one. Okay, for competitive part also, electron gain enthalpy expected for the halogen is expected. I'm telling, fluorine should be more than chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. The reason is fluorine is smaller in size. It would release more energy. So down the group, atomic size increases, electron gain enthalpy should decrease. But actual order, okay, actual order is chlorine is more compared to fluorine, compared to bromine, compared to iodine. So this is very important. Expected is wrong, actual is the correct. So now I'm asking, why suddenly there is a difference in case of the fluorine? It's not like for chlorine it is more. It is actually fluorine, it is less. For chlorine it is normal, for fluorine it is less. So dear students, yes, Francis, very good. Okay, the reason for this abnormal behavior of the fluorine, okay, the reason for this one, dear students, understand. I'll write in the form of a question only. Why fluorine is having lesser electron gain enthalpy than chlorine? Write it completely and mark it as important, very important, and with a question mark. Why the fluorine is having less electron gain enthalpy than the chlorine? So I will tell you the reason, dear students. Here, imagine this way then. To understand, imagine this way now. Imagine there is a car which have the capacity of 5 people. Okay, imagine a car which is having a 5 people. So all the 5 people are occupying now. Okay, all the 5 people are occupying. Just like a transport, public transport. You might have traveled in a auto, or in somewhere you might have traveled. So you are sitting comfortably in an auto. Imagine you are sitting comfortably. Suddenly one more person also waves the hand. He also tried to get into the auto. Already the auto is so full. Okay, the auto is so full, and other person is also trying to enter. Now what is your reaction? Will you welcome him or will you repel him? Yes, Shilpa, right? You will not welcome, you will repel, right? You will repel. The same thing happens in case of the fluorine also. Okay, the same thing happens. Already the fluorine is having, see, configuration, all right, 1s2, 2s2, 2p5 configuration. Let me consider valence shell configuration. Valence shell means outermost shell. Okay, it is having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 electron. 5 plus 2 is 7 electron. Got it? Now dear students, imagine the situation. In such a smaller size, already fluorine is having packed with the electrons. It is so small, because we know atomic radius decreases. The fluorine is very, very small. Got it? And in that, electrons are so well packed that if an electron is added to this electron will definitely repel that incoming, because already there is no space for the electron. And one more electron if you want to add, it will definitely repel. Got it, my dear students? So this abnormal behavior of the fluorine is observed because the incoming electron will be repelled by the already present electron, and we call that one as because of, okay, because of inter-electronic repulsion. Okay, don't write inter-electronic repulsion. This is just one word answer. What if they ask the same question for 2 or 3 marks now? You should explain. What you gonna explain now? See, fluorine is smaller in size, okay, smaller in size, and having 7 outermost electrons. Okay, outermost electron. Therefore, the incoming electron will be repelled. Okay, this sentence I'll write here: by the electrons present in the fluorine, and we call that one as inter-electronic repulsion. Because of that, it releases less amount of energy. Is that clear, my dear friends? Why the fluorine? It's very important question. Why the fluorine is having less electron gain enthalpy? Because of inter-electronic repulsion. 1 mark answer. 2 or 3 marks you should explain that it is having a configuration of 2s to 2p5 and it is smaller in size, and the incoming electron will be repelled by the already present electron because of less space. Got it? Is that clear, my dear friends? Is that clear? Last one more point we'll discuss, then we'll wind up the class. Okay, last one more point. So dear students, are you understanding, or should I explain? Note, noble gases, okay, noble gases have positive value of electron gain enthalpy. So dear students, usually electron gain enthalpy is negative, means when you add electron, energy will be released. Usually when you add electron, energy will be released. But in case of the noble gases, when you add electron, you have to supply energy to add the electron. So see the situation now. In you take a noble gas, and when you try to, whenever I add an electron in an atom, now usually energy will be released. But in case of this one, positive value of electron gain enthalpy means we need to supply energy to add the electron. So what might be the reason, dear students? What might be the reason behind this? Why the n is having a positive value of anyone? What it indicates is they don't want any electron. Okay, more stable because of what now? Yes, Ruchita, it is because they have the completely filled. Okay, they have completely filled ns2 and np6 configuration. Therefore, yes, energy is needed. Yes, octet configuration is completely filled. Therefore, they have no tendency, okay? They have no tendency to accept an electron. They don't have any tendency to accept any electron. So therefore, they would repel the incoming electron. Dear students, is that clear now? Is that clear? So two main variations, like in the case of fluorine, in case of noble gases, we have to understand main thing. Other things are like normal. Electron gain enthalpy increases along the period, decreases down the group. So dear students, if it is clear, I will end the class. Only one more concept left that we will discuss Monday. Okay, okay then. And Monday I'll send some questions related to this one, very important questions. You need to fill, you need to write answer and you have to submit. Okay. I think there is nothing. Yes, Francis, welcome. Okay, Karthik. Okay, Prithvi, welcome. Mahima, welcome. Okay, Shilpa, fine. So if there is any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave the class. Okay, then I will end the class. Okay, Shilpa, welcome. Bye.